Hey guys, what is going on? Floyd Jr. here, back again with another video. So today we are going to be doing this AV Figures decal, and this is going to be a tutorial because, sorry, I can't remember your name, but a guy asked for it. So yeah, I'm going to do an AV Figures decal. I've got Commander Wolf here. So when you get AV Figures decals, you can either get the full sheet and the custom helmet, or you can get the full sheet plus an alternate sheet, I guess. And that works on Lego helmets. So I got just the normal sheet and the AV Figures helmet, but I reckon the same processes will apply like if you're doing either. So yeah, it's kind of a long intro, I apologise for that, but let's get into it. Okay guys, so starting off with what you'll need. So there's quite a bit to get through here, but everything here you do need to do these decals properly. So first off, you're going to need the decal itself, then the figure. Because Commander Wolf, I also got this waist cape as well. I bought that from Firestar Toys, but you can get them from a lot of places that sell decals now. To cut out the decal, you're going to need a sharp knife, so be careful, I guess. A sponge, some I forget what this is called. It's just Humbrol decal fix, but it works as microsol and micro set. You're going to need some of these tweezer things to actually put the decal on the figure. You need a paintbrush to put the decal fix thing on with, and you're going to need a stand so you can like put your figure on something while doing the decal. So you also need a tub of water because these are water slide decals. So yeah, that's everything you should need. So let's get on to decaling the helmet. Okay guys, before you can actually decal the helmet, you have to cut out the decals first. So with 180 decals, I normally just cut out all the pieces and then decal them, but since this is a 360 decal, I'm just going to cut out, like, since there's a lot more pieces here, I'm just going to cut out like the main parts and then put them on, and then cut out the other parts, so I just don't get mixed up in that. So I tend to start by cutting out the helmet. So what you're going to want to do is, you see the grey outline here, you're going to want to cut inside of that, so obviously the grey isn't on the figure. So I'll put this in a time lapse while I cut them out, and I'll get back to you when I cut the pieces out. Right guys, so I've cut the first three pieces out of the helmet. I've cut the actual face part here, I've got the part that goes on his head and the fin. So now I'm going to decal these. I'll walk through it with you, and then yeah, so back to the other camera angle. Right, so first off, what you're going to do is you're going to open your microsol, microset, decal fix, whatever, it all does the same thing, I think. So you're going to get a bit on your paintbrush. That's probably a bit too much. You don't want to go overboard with this because it can like actually affect the how the helmet looks. So you're just going to want to put this on the part where your like the decal actually fits on. So here I'm just putting it around where this like face decal thing will go. So you're going to want to make sure you get every part like that the helmet will cover, because this just helps it like mold to the shape of the helmet and that, so it just gets a better application. So I'm quite happy with that now. And you can put your paintbrush down. Now you're going to want to put the helmet in water right here, and it doesn't matter if it like curves a bit because it's a rather big decal. So I'll move this along here so you can see. So you're gonna want to leave that in for just, you're not gonna want to leave it in too long, but like should be good to go now, I think. So you're gonna want to grab it out of the water like so, put it on your finger with the tweezers, of course. Now with your finger, slide it as close, like so you're grabbing as little as possible of the decal, but make sure this doesn't like curve now. So keep it flat and then just place it on the helmet. It doesn't have to be a perfect application straight away. As you can see, that's rather like bad. but now you can just put it on the helmet and just adjust it to where it should go, if you can see this right. So you're going to want to put this black line where there's like a little dip in the helmet there. I don't know how well you can see that, if it will focus. There's like a dip bit there, so you're going to want to put this black line up there. So slide it up, making sure that it doesn't like fall in on itself, because that wouldn't be good. And you're going to want to get like the middle part, like normally on normal clones there's like a visor bit, you're going to want to line that up with the fin on the helmet, and just make sure it's nice and done to high enough quality. You can't actually see anything right now, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm just making sure this is all nicely applied. So one thing with 360 decals is there's a lot more on a lot, like per like decal you actually put on, there's a lot more like coverage. So I forgot to cover parts of this, like the back of it, in like that decal fix, so you're gonna want to do that now. Just making sure that it's nice and flows, well, is placed nicely so that you're happy with it. Yeah, so now when you're happy with it, you get your sponge and you just push down to make sure it's secure and decal isn't like on its own. They came off there, so I'm just gonna nudge this back in place. It takes like a lot of time to get these things done properly, but they look really cool when they're done. So yeah, like that, grab your sponge and just like pinch it around the helmet. So yeah, they do take a lot of time to be done properly and a lot of care and attention, but yeah, they have a really nice look to them once they're done. There we go. There we go, there's the first part applied now. So the same is going to happen to all of the other parts, and you're just going to want to like put them in their respective places. So now I've shown you how you get them done properly, I will put the other ones on in a time lapse, so you can see everything's done, and then I'll move on to the like mouth, like respirator part after I've done these parts. So yeah. Guys, so now I've put the other two pieces on. I did try to record a time lapse, but it didn't record. So yeah, I apologize for that. But basically, all I did was I put decal fix on. I just put the decal on, and then I pressed down with a sponge and molded it to the helmet. So that's basically all you need to do. So now I'm gonna cut out the other parts. Well, the like mouth part, I guess, like chin and the cheek part, and then I'll do the back of the helmet and side of the helmet, and then we're done with the helmet. So I'll get back to you when I've cut the chin part out. So yeah, now the chin and the cheek parts are done, well, cut out at least. So now we actually have to put them on the helmet. So for this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the biggest piece, and then do the cheekbones, and then do the actual middle part, which that makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys, so I do apologize for that, but I'll show you how to do the like mouth part, like to go round here, and then I'll show you how to do one of the cheek parts, and then the other stuff should be really simple to do because it's literally just like doing a 180 decal. So yeah, I'll do that and I'll get back to you. Right, so now we're set up, we're gonna put the large cheek part in water. So you're going to want to leave it for about not too long, about 10 seconds from now. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now you're going to take it out of water with the tweezers. You're going to slide it onto your finger, pull it off with the tweezers, and then place it carefully on the helmet. actually you're not. You're going to keep it on the tweezers for a second. You're going to put some decal fix on the mouth part because this helps with the shape. So yes, I'm going to do that first. Then you can put it on the mouth like so. You just slide on pretty easily. You might have to take it off with your finger like so. And then you're just going to want to align it up like you would with any other decal. So just align it, get it under the helmet like so. You could actually put a bit more decal fix on this, to be honest, just to help it curve to the shape of the helmet, which, because this is a recon helmet, it's very like curvy, so yeah, it's really awkward shape, almost, kind of, I guess. So just line it up nicely with the parts you've already done. So now I haven't actually put the bottom parts in, but because I'm happy with how the top part is, I'm just going to sponge it. Yeah, that's happy. Don't apply too much pressure because it will stick to the sponge. You don't want that to happen. And you'll have to keep lining it up. So once I've lined this up, I'll get back to you. So once you've got the mouth part aligned up, you're going to have the cheek parts to do. So these are going to go here. So they're going to cover up this like inner cheek part and going to go here. So yeah, let's get right into it. So we're going to do the right cheek part. Yeah, we're gonna do the right cheek part now. So you're gonna put it in water, not for too long, because AV Figures decals, they're very thin, so you want to be careful with them. So this should be long enough for this small piece now if it wants. So I've got the decal here. Now we're gonna place some decal fix on, like so, in the cheek and around the area, and then you're just going to want to carefully put that in place and then adjust it. Yeah. Now the cheek part is in place, like so. Basically the video messed up again because it's just bad today. So you take the paintbrush, rub it like with decal fix on, of course, then you put it inside the cheek part here and rub it around this bottom part like so. Then once you've got a sufficient amount on, you get the cheek decal, place it in water, leave it for a few seconds. Because these are such small pieces, they don't take too long. It's gonna need a little bit longer, I think. Then I'm just gonna have to put the phone down for this. You get it off of the paper and onto the tweezers. Then you can place it, or you should place it like so. Then you adjust it to the correct place. It's hard to do this one-handed. Yeah, you want to make sure there's very few overlapping places because they do change colour because of the decal. So I'm gonna just adjust this and then I'll get back to you. Now everything's adjusted to my liking. This is what it looks like so far. It has got a bit of a gloss finish to it, but that is just because of the decal fix. I'm gonna put a matte sealant on it so it won't look this glossy when it's done. It'll look way better. So I'm gonna cut out the rest of the helmet part now, and then we'll be done with the helmet. The main part of the back of the helmet is there now. That's gonna go right here, and I've already decal fixed this. So what we can do is you can get this out of the water. I'm just gonna get this onto the tweezers. This on the tweezers, you can then just put it there nicely like so, and then adjust it to your liking, and then I'll show you what it's like once it's adjusted. You should have two pieces that look like this, and these should be the only two pieces for your helmet left. So basically these pieces go right here on the helmet. So this part would go here, and the rest would wrap around to down here, so they keep this grey stripe going all the way around. So I'll show you how to put them on now. So once you've got the piece on the tweezers like this, you shouldn't have to use decal fix for this part because it is mostly flat. So you're just going to place it on like so, and then adjust it, and it should look like when it's fully adjusted. So as you can see, it keeps the pattern going. There are a few white gaps, but yeah, I'm gonna try and do them once I put all the pieces on, because then I can see how everything goes together. So now do the exact same on the other side, so you should get something like this. As you can see now, all the pieces are on the helmet, so you can adjust them to make sure that all the gaps like that one there are covered. It doesn't take too much, you just have to put a little water or decal fix on, and then you can adjust them and slide them around. So I'll show you what it looks like when I've done that. You can see most of the gaps are gone. There's still a few, but I've probably got too close to the thing by accident. So yeah, but overall I'd say this is pretty good, and yeah, that's the helmet done. So now moving on to the torso. So now moving on to the torso decals, you should have these 5 decals. So for the front of the torso, back of the torso, and the sides of the torso, and this bit for the neck and top part of the torso thing, I guess. So to cut out the holes on the arms and the neck, first off what you're going to need is a hole puncher. So I'll just get one of those and I'll be right back. Right, so I've got the hole punch here. This is something I use for cloth. It wasn't that expensive. I got it off Amazon. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to find the right size hole punch that matches the hole, line it up nicely, and use it to make sure it's nice and centered. And then you're just going to want to pull tight as you can on them. Then it should create the ring around where you need to do it. So this is T3, and yep, that's how you cut out the holes. What you might want to do is with your craft knife or whatever, you might want to just cut around that just to make sure that it is properly cut out and you're not ripping the actual decal itself, because that would be an issue. So yep, I'm just going to make sure this is all nicely cut out like so, and that now that can fit over the armholes. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the arms off of the torso like so. You're going to want to put the torso underneath this, it's just there, fits nicely in here. And then you're just going to want to look. So I tend to start with the first. You have to keep the hips connected for this, by the way. So I'm going to start with the front of the torso right here, and then this decal goes on here, and this wraps around the bottom of the hips like so. So I'll show you, I'll do that now, and then basically the rest is just like doing a 180 decal. They just go on the sides around the armholes. I'll show you how to do one of them. I won't show you how to do the back, because if you've done a 180 decal then you know how. It's basically the same as doing the front as well, just without the hip piece alignment. So I'll just make sure. I'm gonna move these out the way. The only bit of decal fix you should need for the torso is around the hip place here, because it does curve around, so it might need a bit of help connected to that, but I just put a little bit on the flat surface as well, just because it does help stick. So you're gonna get the decal, you're gonna slide it onto your finger like so, and then take it with the tweezers. Then you're gonna put the bottom part of the hip first, and then just let it wrap around the bottom, adjust it on the front, make sure it's nicely centered, because this does affect how the overall figure looks quite massively, to be honest, because the other parts like should line up perfectly with this. So yeah, this takes a lot of concentration to make sure everything's aligned perfectly. That looks pretty good. So now you're going to take your sponge and just push down on it, make sure it's nice and done. And that is how you do the front of the torso. You're going to want to push down on the hips as well, just make sure it's nicely attached. There you have the front of the torso. Now I'm going to show you how to do the side. So you're going to turn it a bit. You're going to make sure you get the right side. So I'm just going to check which side it is, because they are very similar. So if we're going to do this side, then we will need a torso, T2 has that. Just a second. So you can see it has the pocket bit here at the front, so that should go there. That's how it should be. So again, hole punch this out like this. Make sure it's around like that. Just cut around this circle with your knife, making sure not to damage the decal in the process. There, as you can see, nicely cut out now. So this goes in the water like so. Just gonna move some of this stuff out of the way. Again, AV figures don't take long to soak in the water because of how thin the decal is, so that should be a good amount of time. Now you're gonna slide it off again and just place it on there, making sure that this whole part lines up with the armhole like so. Then making sure all of this is nicely aligned like that. And when you're happy with it, press down with the sponge nice and lightly, making sure not to slide it around too much. Hopefully not at all, but it's probably gonna happen. So there we go, that should be good. So that's 2 of the sides done, and just give me a second. Making sure that is right. There we go, we have 2 of the 4 sides done. Now, as you can see, they line up quite nicely. So you're just going to want to make sure to keep that up with the other sides. So I'll do them right now. So now all 4 sides of the torso are done. We have one more piece to go, and that is the top part here. So this just slots over the next piece. You basically put a hole punch through there, or the whole bit, and then you just slide it on. It's really simple to do, so I'm not going to show you how to do it, but yeah, this is the last piece, and then you've done the torso. So let's do it. Right, for the arms now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to grab the bottom part of the arm first, which is this. You're going to put that in the water. After well, you're going to put some decal fix or microsol, microset, whatever you use on the arms to make sure they conform to the surface, right? So I'm gonna just let the arm set, get it out of the water, and I'll show you how to apply. Right, so for the arm now, you're gonna grab it, and what you're gonna do is, you see the small end, you're gonna lay that on the inside of the arm, and then like rotate it around the arm. So the small end goes on the inside of the arm, and just rotate around the arm like so. So this bit should be on the elbow part of the arm, and this part should wrap around the inside of the arm. So I'm gonna just make sure that I get this right, and then I'll show you how it should look at the end. So this is how the first part of the arm decal looks. Obviously it just goes up to around the elbow here. So now we're gonna put microsol, microset, decal fix, whatever you use, on the top portion of the arm. And we're gonna put this in the water now. Leave it around, I'd say 15 to 20 seconds in the water. Grab it out, put it on, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. To apply the arm, or the top of the arm, you're gonna put it like so. So this part is the shoulder. Then you're gonna want to make it match up with the bottom portion of the arm. So let me just grab this, push it down a little bit, right there. And then you're gonna like fold these parts around the arm. And then I'll show you what it should look like. So this is what the arm should look like now, if it's gonna focus. As you can see, it like wraps around here. And yeah, it's pretty decent arm decal. You might want to push it down around the hand area and make sure everything's covered so it looks good, and then you're done with the arms. So you're going to want to repeat that for the other arm, and then we'll move on to the legs. Right, so now for the legs. The legs, in my opinion, are the easiest part to decal because they're very similar to 180 decals. So what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of decal fix on the leg, like so. And I'll start with the front of it, which is very similar to a 180 decal. So this step's basically the same as a 180. So all you have to do is wait for the decal to separate from the paper. Just a second. Get the decal off the paper and just line it up, or line the toes up, and just line the toes up. Then it's hard to do this with one hand, just a sec. Just basically line the toes up, then put the tweezers there so it can like wrap around there. Right, so that's the first part of the decal done. So you'll notice there's two more parts to do. So there's this part which will go on this side of the leg here. It's the same shape, so it's really easy to apply. Basically just put it on water, put it on here with a sponge, dab it, and then it's on. So I'll do that right now. You can see now that that side's on. It is really simple to put on. It's basically like just doing the torso, so it doesn't take much like effort really. The hardest part is this part. So you get the hole punch some holes in it where the legs will go. This is what it looks like before. So punch the holes, make sure you cut it out like exactly like this shape, because you'll notice there is like a groove on the inside So this is made to perfectly fit around that. So what I like to do is I like to start it off on the back and then wrap it around to the side, which, yeah, so I'll show you how I do that now. So I've got the decal here, I'm going to slide it off like this, then I'm going to put it on here. Doesn't have to go on perfectly if it'll go on at all. So there we go. So then I'm going to line this corner up so it matches with the black lines going around there, and you can wrap this part to the top like so, making sure those don't get messed up. Then you'll take the leg off, flip it around so it's like that now, and you can nice and simply just turn it in, making sure that this part lines up there, and that is you done with the legs. So now you're just gonna need to press very lightly on it with the sponge, making sure all the water is out so it stops bubbles and it stops it peeling away, and making sure there's no imperfections, and there you go, that's your 360 leg. So now I'm going to do the other one, and then I'll show you how to seal the figure in that. So here's the decal after all of them have been applied. So I'm going to leave this overnight now before sealing it, so it has some time to like dry off and that, and for the micro decal fix thing to set in. So I'll get back to you when I'm sealing it. Right, so now for the sealing, all you need to do is make sure the can's warm so it like sets better. I'm using this one, it's a matte finish, so I just kind of like it, plus it kind of cancels out the gloss of the micro set. So you're just going to want to spray this like you would any normal 180 decal, but this time you have to make sure you get all the sides because obviously it's 360, so I'm going to just do this, and yeah. So when you put the figure together, what you're going to want to do is you're going to make sure that you've carved out the arms. So basically you just get the knife, you just put it in the arm, and then you just twist it around. You don't take too much material out, just like a little bit so the arms can slot in better. But yeah, you can make sure the hips are carved as well, and you have to keep the torso and hips together, and I'll show you how to put waist capes on and that after. So now that the figure's together, what you're going to do is you're going to take your knife and you're going to cut like between the torso and the hips, just so that the decal gets separated but the it's still on the figure. So you're just going to take your knife, just stick it between the hips and the torso, and it just separates nicely. You're not going to want to be too rough with it, just very gentle. This is the figure next to the 180 counterpart. As you can see, it obviously has a lot more detailed. So yes, 360 decals are just pretty good for like detail and that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it helped, be sure to comment down below if it did. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.